is going on, guys? My name is Josh Engel, also known as Anti-Pro, and joined with me today,
as always, is Mike Bisson, aka Mohawk Mike.
And this is Boss Fight TV's The Reload, episode 11. We made it past 10. We're already in the double digits, so triple digits, here we come. Like, what was that? Are you laughing at me?
There's still a little bit to go. I mean, we're only at 11.
It's going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, it won't even happen this year, though.
Positive
Anyways,
images.
So, today, we will be covering last week's worth of esports, and that's February 6th through the 13th. And there were some exciting, crazy, awesome, and cool things going on. All of those. Exciting, crazy, awesome, and cool.
You know what's funny is that all of those adjectives I would use to define this week. Because you know what? As we mention every week, it seems like, oh no, we're not going to have a whole lot of stuff to cover, and then...
Boom. Although, I was most excited for Sao Paulo, so ESL IEM.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. So, as we start off every episode, we would like to welcome you to check out our sponsor, iHeartEsports.com, at iHeartEsports.
At iHeartEsports.
On Twitter.
You're talking about the Mesports.
Esports. Anyways, so if you listen to this episode, you will get a chance to win stickers from this awesome company. They sell stickers of all sorts and shapes and sizes. Anywhere from good game stickers to iHeart Esports stickers, and their new line of team stickers and player stickers, which they've just added Team Rain to their arsenal. So check that out on their website, iHeartEsports.com, for all those new stickers. They've also just announced a partnership with IGN, so they have access to all of their photos for stickers in the future. So expect more and more from them. Also, if you check their blog, they're looking for a barcraft organizer. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, they made a post on Reddit about it. It's also on their blog, so check it out. They're looking for people. But last week, again, no sticker winners. Come on, guys. You guys, seriously. Every time someone's done it, I'm not saying like if 1,000 people, tweet us the code, we're not going to give 1,000 stickers out, but in the past, every single person who's tweeted us got stickers. So why not do it? So listen to the special code. Good stuff. Good stuff. Also, in the episode, I'm going to give you a chance to tweet or email or contact us in some way, shape, or form, because we're actually going to be doing an article and maybe even part of a live show, a way to contribute to part of Boss Fight. So stay on the lookout for that. So... You ready for some StarCraft news?
How about some StarCraft news?
Indeed. We're going to go ahead and roll it off on the StarCraft news like we always do. And like I mentioned, the Intel Extreme Master Series had their event in Sao Paulo. We talked about it a little bit last week when they did their League of Legends competition, kind of local League of Legends players and stuff like that. But right after that episode, they jumped right into the StarCraft side of things. And let me tell you, it was really cool.
Things got hot in Brazil.
It was hot, actually.
I mean, this is the first time they've actually done it in South America, but...
Let me tell you, I was really jealous of everyone because every time they did an interview with somebody, they were like out by the pool, in their flip-flops, and screw that, man.
So jelly.
I am jelly. Going right into all that craziness, I'm not going to go over all the groups. You can check it out on the website. We have recaps from each day and all that stuff. But Supernova, Slico, Feast, Real, Ret, Dark Force, Violet, and The Muslim, they all made it out of group play. So that's an actual sizable force there of StarCraft 2 awesomeness right there. So I do have to say, it was interesting. The first game I saw... Illusion played against Dark Force, and I will tell you that I keep talking about Illusion. I really like the guy, and both players were like, yeah, man, like it doesn't even matter. I'm gonna win. I don't even have to talk about predictions. Whatever. Unfortunately, Illusion couldn't pull it out, but he's still a really good player, and he's probably one of the best Terran players in North America. I wouldn't say the best, but he's up there, and that's what Mr. Bitter and Rotterdam were talking about during the competition. So those guys made it out of group play. Talking about the playoff brackets, Supernova and Violet. If you looked at our kind of like preview before the brackets that I did, I, as well as almost everyone else out there in the world, was like, it's going to be Violet and Supernova in the finals. It's going to be Violet and Supernova in the finals. And guess what happened? It was Violet and Supernova in the finals.
I lost $1.
Oh, man. And here's the thing. Even though those two players were like favored to win, neither of them like had the easiest time getting through the bracket. Like it wasn't like 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 all the way through. There were some close matches and some close games. So, but they ended up making it into the finals, where Violet ended up winning 3-1, and Rhett ended up taking third in that competition. So, congratulations to them. As always, if you missed any of the action, all the replays should be up on esl-world.net. I'm not sure if I doubt they're still rebroadcasting it, but if so, check it out on esl.tv. And they do a lot of other tournaments and stuff on that channel, so check that out. ESL Sao Paulo in the bag, and I would seriously think in the next week or so you will see the World Championship pools all drawn out, and you'll see all that information coming out. Counter-Strike is, I believe, already done -2 teams. And League of Legends is completely out there, which we did a League of Legends article, and we're waiting on the 2 last teams for Counter-Strike to do an article on that. So, World Championships, IEM coming up. Get ready. Moving on to GSL Code S. MC and Parting, both advance from Group C. And DRG and Genius, that would be Donregu and Genius, ended up winning Group D. Here are the players that did not make it out. We have Jockg, it's always a mouthful. Gonzi, MKP, that would be Marine King, and NASTL are out, which is kind of interesting because there's some pretty big players in there, especially with NASTL taking the MLG winter qualifiers from Korea. So he got first place there, not so much unfortunately. So here's the brackets. They're all the way out of group play now. So here are the playoff brackets. Are you ready? We have Alive versus MMA. We have MC versus Genius, Gumio versus Puzzle, and Parting versus Donregu. And I'm not going to lie. Normally I would sit here and say, hey, this person or that person. Obviously MMA, arguably probably the best StarCraft player in the world. Of course, he has more of a shot than anyone else. But at the same time, looking back at the final season of GSL last year with Jockg coming out in the end and kind of coming out of nowhere, it's anybody's game, seriously. So be on the lookout for that. All of that stuff, like I said, it's going to be going on weekly at gomtv.net. So check all that stuff out. Also, going on in Korea, we're about to hit that huge team section here.
Spike.
All the team leagues going on. Also going on in Korea, we have the GSTL. So that's the GSL Team League. FXO beats Zenex, and that's 5-1. The hero of that matchup is Lucky and Oz. Oz, I think, won the last game. Lucky did some work there. We also have Hoseo beats SCV Life 5-1. Sculpt and Sage are the big ones there. February 17th and 18th are going to be the next 2 matches there. Moving on to NASTL, FXO beats Quantic 3-1. Rox KS beats Team Liquid 3-2. And Mouse beats Evil Geniuses 3-0. Evil Geniuses has been having some problems in the team leagues, unfortunately. And then Empire beats Rain 3-2. So there's all that good stuff. And then moving on to the IPL Team Arena, we have FXO beats Hoseo, and that's 5-0. And Gumio, talking about him up in the GSL, he is the hero in that matchup, winning all of his games. Almost done. Almost. You got a couple more things to go over. So we have the Asus Winter Assembly coming up. And they have announced their full player list. Here's why it took so long. It's still about 10 or 11 days away now. MLG actually booked their Winter Arena during the same weekend. So they had to wait to see what players qualified for MLG in order to send their full invite list out. It's published on the website. I'm not going to read down all of them, but there's currently 31 players One person stepped down for personal reasons or whatever. I'm not sure if they're going to, bring in another person in for that or not. So be on the lookout for that. We'll obviously report that if they bring on another player or not. And the MLG Winter qualifiers are also going on as well. And I'm going to say this. If you want to see the full results, they are on MLG and they are in the article on our site. MLG actually also released all of their information on the U.S. qualifiers, even though it hasn't been broadcasted yet. So
it hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened. I mean, it already did, but I mean, if you want to know now, you could go look at it or you could wait. It doesn't matter. So NASTL ended up, like I said before, he ended up winning the whole thing there from Korea, at least. And there will be kind of a whole recap article once all the games are broadcast, where we can do some recaps. Officially broadcasted. Also, with the Winter Arena, which is coming up right after the qualifiers, same weekend as the Asus ROG tournament.
Kind of a bummer.
Unfortunately. But MLG actually dropped some information on that. And they are coming out with a new model where it's only pay-per-view. So if you want to watch the tournament, you have to pay $20. If you have a gold membership with them, you get $5 off. I believe they announced today. There was a little bit of confusion with that. The community is kind of split. Some people think it's a good idea. Some people think it's a bad idea. Here's where I would like to hear from you guys. I actually sent out a thing on Twitter today. If you have an opinion on it, you can tweet it at us. That's at BossFightTV. You can email us at staff@bossfight.tv. We are kind of working on doing kind of like a live roundtable show. It will either show up there or we might do an article. It depends, kind of like looking at both sides of the whole situation or whatever. So be on the lookout for that. So with that $20, you get 5 streams. There's a main stream. There's 3 kind of like tournament, like gameplay streams or whatever. There's a Dr. Pepper stream,
like behind the scenes,
right? Which is, I'm assuming, is going to be like Home Story Cup 4, where they did all the crazy behind the scenes stuff there. VODs will be out instantly for people who pay the $20, and they'll be out a week later for free for everybody else. So if you don't pay, you got to wait for a whole week. Best case scenario, if you don't like the decision with that, go find a local bar craft. Support your local bar craft, because they obviously will probably have a subscription. So if you don't want to pay it, go out, drink some beer, eat some food, support the bar craft scene, because it's a pretty good scene. I enjoy myself at bar crafts. Do you, Mike?
Yes, of the very few that I've been to. Yeah. Which is funny because I actually talked about earlier today. There was a rumor about possibly some Halo bar crafts.
Ooh, in New Jersey,
yeah. Yeah, in New Jersey. So might be a new wave of bar
Halo craft.
A Halo craft?
Or I guess it wouldn't be Halo bar. Halo
Bungie craft.
Barlow. I don't even know. But anyways. So, like I said, the community's kind of up in arms at it right now. Even, Evil Geniuses and Team Liquid coming out of the woodwork. A lot of people, prominent people, not necessarily liking the idea. But, like I said, if you don't like it, go join a local bar craft. And, like I said, let us know what you think, because we want to know. That concludes StarCraft. Done with that. But also, while talking about MLG...
Just to keep with the same kind of lines, right. It was announced...
So Call of Duty.
So Call of Duty. Well, MLG is set up, as we know, the weekly Warfare show, which is basically every week they, wrap up a tournament from game battles and talk about, team changes and things coming up within the Call of Duty community. And it was announced that MLG Columbus, otherwise known as the Winter Championships, will not feature Call of Duty. Sundance has said in a multitude of facets and different interviews that, look, we're working with publishers, i.e. Activision, and we're trying to get certain games up to tournament standards, and we really want to present the best competition. We don't want to just do a game, that we've done and do it, we don't want to kind of have a lack showing on our part. So this is the way that it's working right now. no Call of Duty for the MLG Columbus Winter Championships, but here is what is going on within MLG. Game Battles has started the beta for their new league system. So as it sits right now, there are, I believe it's 4. It's like Alpha, Beta, or Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. There are 4 different leagues, and the way that works is basically what you would do in a tournament is going to be spanned over a couple of months. So every team within a set league will play each other once and then progress forward into the tournament, ultimately culminating in a $800 online tournament through Game Battles. Now,
don't forget the swag.
Yeah, and swag and tokens and Game Battles and fame and notoriety, because that's always great. But here's the thing. Obviously, the Call of Duty community is really, they're pumped up with weekly warfare and all the events and tournaments and going on. All of the major teams are actually already signed up. The vast majority of them. So like Envious and Optic and Fear and all those teams already signed up, ready to go into this league play to see where this happens. And it's funny because it's actually in the last weekly warfare, Golden Boy was like, where was this when I was playing?
Right.
Like, about time.
Right.
Because you know what? The thing with online play is that, there's a certain structure to it, but now the way that MLG is doing it is they're trying to prep for the next, the spring championship. Mm-hmm. So, that being said, the way that this league is actually being worked, it's only search and destroy, which in my opinion, I really like, being a former Counter-Strike guy. Yeah, I shouldn't say former because we're going to talk about later about updates about Counter-Strike. But so we're kind of waiting to see, is it going to be CTF and search and destroy? What maps are we going to see played? So everything's kind of in limbo right now. And I think they want to test it and get everything locked down before going into a national tournament.
It's commendable. And 402 on Twitter, I guess a lot of the Call of Duty community was kind of like really reaching out to him. Mm-hmm. And he literally was like, look, guys, like all of these features you're asking for, they have been on the list for months. Mm-hmm. And I've been fighting for them. Things like some kind of pro mod or, all unlock, mode or, mm-hmm. LAN and all that other, crazy stuff. So they're working on it. Hopefully we will see it in the spring qualifiers and, spring championships, like Mike said. So we'll see what happens.
Going on moving forward, which kind of, kind of keeping, good segues.
Indeed.
It's like we almost planned for this to happen.
I know.
Oh. So
we try.
Over the weekend, we actually seen it was Team Envious, who out of their house, the Team Envious house out of, I think it's North Dakota. I know I have it written down here somewhere.
One of the Dakotas.
One of the Dakotas. I'm pretty sure North Dakota. But anyway, Gunnar actually hosted a Modern Warfare 3 LAN between the Team Envious and Optic Gaming. And, the thing is, they started on Friday, and it was great because they had, a fan call-in Q&A where they could talk to the pros. How do you form teams? How do you feel about the tournament structures coming out so far? And then the next week, the next day was like, they actually had, it was called the skills competition.
Right, that was really
where
cool.
They just, each player, joined into a random lobby, and then from there it was, kill-death ratio and, aiming percentages and stuff like that. So that was cool tool. Cool tools as well.
You remember those back in the day? The cool tools? The little
I
tiny one? Come on, really now?
I don't think I had cool
tools.
Mind. Anyway. So the last day, on the last day of the LAN, we actually got to see the 2 brand new maps just released by Call of Duty Elite, which is, of course, Liberation. And it's funny because I wrote it in my notes. I was talking about this earlier. I wrote it as pizza, but it's actually Piazzi is how I'm going to pronounce it. I think that's how I've heard it pronounced, which is Liberation. It played as Search and Destroy is just doesn't click for me, in my opinion. But Piazzi, or Pizza, a.k.a.,
is actually... We're going to dub it right now. It's pizza.
Pizza. Everybody's going to call it pizza. It's actually a really good S&D map. So, one of the things we were talking about the last weekly warfare is they always play Dome. Get rid of Dome! I was gonna ask
that. Like, what is that map you were talking about earlier?
I hate Dome. I hate Dome with a passion.
Dome?
It's not good for any game type, in my opinion. But anyways, so you can go back onto the Gunnar Optics Twitch TV account, which they have those games obviously recorded and brought back up, so you can see those games. Obviously, it was more casual because even though it was a LAN, it was just those 2 teams playing back and forth, and so it was good to see, especially with all the team trades that just happened in the last couple of weeks. Optic is basically different, Leverage is different, Envious is different, so check into those team trades, check
Right.
into the new maps and everything coming out. So
Indeed.
we will have to wait and see what the Call of Duty competitive scene has to hold in the future, because we don't know right now.
Also, just throw it in there. Not gonna make any official announcements or anything yet. We are working on an interview with one, maybe two people that are pretty prominent
members
in the Call of Duty community. So if you're out there and you like Call of Duty, just kind of keep scanning the airwaves. Follow us at Boss Fight TV, because the details are coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I gotta say. Nothing more. Nothing more on that front.
Speaking of, if you like Call of Duty and details,
Right.
details were leaked today about the Counter-Strike Global Offensive Beta.
Uh-oh.
And basically what happened is that they initially announced it as an expanding. We talked about a couple weeks ago that they had an actual community-based poll where they said, hey, what do you want the next map to be, so we can test. It's obviously still in beta. They want to test things. They're kind of tweaking maps to see how it works to the new graphics and hitboxes and whatnot.
Right.
So as of today, I believe it's 7,000 new invites went out.
Right.
And that was all based off of actually like how active people were playing Counter-Strike.
In the last 3 months?
I
3
think
months? 30 days.
30 days.
So last 30 days.
So it's,
which is not me, unfortunately.
You can't just like hey at CS underscore
Dev.
CSGO underscore
You
dev.
send me a
I want a
invite.
beta key.
But that means there's 7,000 other people out there that
are
probably
playing.
going to get some invites to send out.
That don't know about it.
So if you guys go check your Steam inventory, and if you have some extra codes,
I got lots of hats. I'll trade you.
I'll trade you
have two
some
hats.
coupons from the.
From the Steam sale.
I don't think those are even there anymore.
I
I
don't
think
think
they're
those.
gone.
I think
Anyways,
those went out. Yeah.
I'm dying to play this game. So if you're out there, send me a beta. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Anyways.
Anyway,
Onward.
so that is the news
Counter-Strike.
with Counter-Strike Go, but also Tech Labs, predominantly the peripheral company out of Europe, has also announced that they will be, it's starting out, it's going to be an online, it's a 16-team invitational online tournament, but the grand finals will be happening at a LAN. Where specifically is this LAN? Well, it's in Moscow, Russia, at the
What's it called? It's
quote
called
unquote Mega Shopping Center
the Mega Shopping Center.
on March 18th, 2012.
It's like the Mall of America for Russia.
For Russia.
I think. I don't know.
Anyway.
I'm just saying.
But here's the most intriguing part about this. First
I
off,
don't know.
first place is going to the first place team is going to get $10,000. That's United States currency. I don't know how many rubles or whatever that is, but that's a lot. $10,000. You know how much second place is?
How much?
Half of that. $5,000. So obviously you would think, okay, well, it's an invitational tournament, $10,000, $15,000 up for grabs. This is going to net some big teams. Basically, this is the IEM or ESL IEM Season 6, grand finals before you even see it, because you have teams like Fnatic and Navi and all these other predominant teams that are invited.
Awesome.
And depending on how they do online, we could see the grand finals before the actual World Championships for ESL. So
remember, in Soviet Russia, mall shops you.
What's funny is I was trying to come up with a joke like that, a Yakov Smirnoff joke, but I couldn't even think of one.
Should that be the code?
Sure.
I'm trying to think, because we're in the middle. We kind of need to come up with a code.
We're in the middle. We're kind of going to come up with something here soon.
So, hashtag, in Soviet Russia, mall shops you.
In Soviet Russia.
In Soviet Russia,
Mall shops
mall shops you.
Okay.
And that's in reference to the the Tech Labs Invitational.
So, if you would like some free, collectible, free stickers.
Absolutely free.
Free.
I'll say free again. A lot of free stickers. People were sending pictures in, and they got like 7 or 8 stickers. I don't want to like up talk it or whatever,
Right.
but they got a bunch of stickers. So follow us. Follow at iHeart Esports, at Boss Fight TV. Tweet us. It's Soviet Russia. Mall shops
Mall
you.
shops you.
So it'll be probably right in.
Maybe
this
our
area.
thing is our hashtags are just way too long.
Hashtag no. Hashtag the letter A.
Hashtag letter A.
Just
For
kidding.
free stickers.
Anyways, jumping out of the Counter-Strike news.
Well, I kind of want to I want to go ahead and keep with the team structure here. So
Right.
we actually had, I've previously talked about Team Fortress 2. I love Team Fortress 2.
You do. You
I actually
love your
came
Team
from
Fortress.
the competitive scene back when it was 5-on-5, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. We're here to talk about 8v8.
Ooh.
And you know what? There were actually 2 big tournaments that actually happened in the last few weeks. One specifically last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, and then one this weekend. That's specifically CEVO Season 8 actually wrapped up on the same Sunday that the Super Bowl happened, so I kind of missed it because I was watching commercials.
Why weren't you watching or why aren't you watching Team Fortress, Mike?
Because you know what? Those Budweiser commercials just get me.
Zima 2.0?
Zima 2.0. Bud Light Platinum. Anyway, don't worry about that part. We're going to end it there.
Hashtag Zima 2.0. Let's get that trending.
Anyway, so in
not the free code, by the way.
CEVO Season 8, it was actually Immortal 6 versus Superior Posterior. I had to pause myself.
That's a pretty sweet name, I'm not going to
lie. It was actually Immortal 6, though, that took it pretty handedly. In the
like Superior Posterior.
The first half, they kind of rolled over him. The second half was okay. But, again, this is CEVO. Season 8. I mean, this is, a lot of teams. But to an even bigger tournament, we go to the ESEA Intermediate is basically what it's called. Basically, there's the Intermediate, which is the teams that have proven themselves. They are technically pro teams. Not quite to the invitational status yet. When they have the invitational, that'll happen. Which I know that ESEA is trying to work a LAN together right now, which is going to have like Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But in the intermediate column, it was 2 teams, which basically, you know what? I kind of read the predictions early, which I think it was Exterminate. I specifically read on the ESEA website, which is like, these are the 2 teams it's going to come down to. There were over like 200 matches to determine the grand finals. And that was, it came down to the actual prediction. So you have from USA, you had Laser Beams. Pew, pew, pew. And then from Canada, you had the Dinosaurs.
Like the Dinosaurs?
Like the Dinosaurs.
Oh, man. I missed that show.
No sound effects for the Dinosaurs? This is actually, what's funny is that technically this happened, the day that we're right now where we're filming it. So I will type up a review article.
Technically, we should be talking about this next week, Mike.
Well, okay, I'll recap it next week. You know what? You can get out there and check out ESEA. Check out their post.
You can tell.
Well, I mean, I don't know right now because we're filming.
Some people are playing Team Fortress right now,
and
some people are winning.
The match is scheduled.
And some people are losing.
The match is scheduled
at Team Fortress
3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning.
Well, we still have some time.
Well, we'll hopefully make an alternate. Whatever.
So, future us knows what happened.
All right.
Current us does not.
Last but not least, if you are interested in Team Fortress 2 as a competitive esport, you should check out communityfortress.com. Just an awesome group, dedicated. They've been here since day one. Previously, like I said, I actually played in a lot of the tournament series and whatnot, so I would like to see Team Fortress 2 actually brought back to some of the more major series. Not that ESEA and CEVO isn't big, but at the same time, let's get some TF2. It's free to play, and there's hats.
What about Team Fortress 3?
Team Fortress 3. No, we're not going to go trolling on Steam. Oh. Half-Life 3, Team Fortress 3, whatever.
Hey, man, they can't count to 3.
So, going from a game that I begged you to play, speaking of
last week,
Quake Live.
Oh, man.
Well, we finally did have that final match to wrap up the finals of the ESL Master Series Season 9 between Strengths and Killzone. First off, let me say that I really, really, really want you guys to go back and check the VOD because it was actually Joe Miller and Too Good.
Yes.
Which
I love those two guys.
Our old casting buddies, and Too Good. It was just amazing to hear.
Too Good was just too good.
He was too
good, man.
To hear both those guys casting Quake again. Unfortunately, the series was not as great. I'm actually getting like heart reflex like right now thinking about the series. Strengths, as always, as we've seen previously in the Zotac Cups, kind of rolled Killzone. And during the last map on Aerowalk. Now, it's funny because I've actually had people ask me before, why do people who play Quake not GG in the middle of a match if they're losing from a big deficit? And the quick and dirty answer is going to be, Quake is a different game. You want to stay warmed up because you need to hit those crucial shots. You want your accuracy to be good. You might as well play out the rest of the game as a warm-up into the next game. But with strengths on the basic game point. Strengths or Killzone, my bad. Killzone actually GG'd out of the game with like 3 minutes left, losing like 12-4. And so it was kind of bittersweet, but at the same time, tell you what was even more bittersweet. Joe Miller at the end of it is like, yep, and that is the last time that we will see Quake at the ESCL. Thanks everybody for watching. And we're kind of like, okay, well, they've already announced the games for Season 10. We know there's not Quake there, but maybe it was kind of like a slip, or maybe he was just saying for ESL Season 9, this is the last we'll see Quake. We've wrapped everything up. So we don't really know the future for Quake.
We shall see.
On the major scene. But, as always, as I mentioned previously, the Zotac Cup happens every Sunday. You are I more than encourage you to watch it, because a lot of the major players are going into that, because now there really isn't like a big, as I kind of mentioned before, tournament structure. But the big story here is that Strengths actually competed but didn't make it to the grand finals. Matter of fact, he lost in the game previous, right before the grand finals, to Evil.
Oh man!
In which Evil actually knocked him out. And then in the other side of the bracket, Cypher basically rolled up to the end. So Evil versus Cypher. Cypher takes it 3-1. And I have to say, I don't know if Evil just 2-0'd Strengths or if it was an actual lag issue. Because the thing is, like, when you watch those games, like, you kind of join. I joined into the finals of it. I'm like, what's going on? Because this is early in the morning. I'm like,
everything's bouncing around.
Strengths lost. What's going on? So, as always, play Quake Live. Quake Live is great.
Indeed.
Play Team Fortress 2. Both are free to play.
So is League of Legends.
Yeah,
which is what we're talking about next.
Good segue.
See, yeah, free game. League of Legends. On the tournament front, other than Sao Paulo, which we talked about last week, there really is nothing going on. There's a Curse Invitational. Invitational.
You got it.
I got it. It was just kind of a weird way to say it. But $20,000. That's a big chunk of change. Unfortunately, there's not really a lot of information out there. They announced it. There was actually, not only did they announce it, in the game launcher, there was news about it and everything, because, you guys know Curse. They've actually come out with a new website, LOL, I think it's lolpro.com. I'm just kind of trying to remember in my head here. Mm-hmm. But they're doing this tournament, this invitational. There were some connection and lag issues, and there was also just
it's not a major
that happens
LOL
all the time
without lag,
right? Seriously,
games crashing.
So the broadcasts were kind of messed up. They didn't, all of the ones that were actually broadcasted didn't happen at the right times, and it's kind of all over the place. I haven't been able to grab any brackets or win-loss ratios or anything like that. So as soon as we get it, we have myself as well as our buddy Joel, Antidote for Life. He's our kind of MOBA guy. We have been scouring the internet. As soon as we find something, we will let you know as soon as possible. So Curse Invitational for League of Legends. Also, another MOBA game coming out really soon. Or, if you already have it in beta, the Dota 2. Dota 2, the defense has been going on like it always has. Obviously, Dota 2 Europe is over, as we talked about last week. But the defense, we have 2 matches. We have Navi ended up advancing in the upper bracket 2-0 versus AL. And in the lower side of the bracket, Dignitas advanced versus ARI 2-1. So good job to Dignitas and Navi. As always, check out joindota.com for all of the information on when they're going to be broadcasting, because it kind of happens all over the place.
Periodically.
So, yeah.
Whenever.
Here and there. You just got to check that website. It's all in there. Just click the defense, and it has all the times. So check it out. Moving on to our last segment.
Last but certainly not
least, the fighting games.
As always, fighting in
Indeed.
communities. Basically, first little news update is that Cross Assault, which is, of course, that new reality show that is going to be online featuring Street Fighter X Tekken.
Right. You all right there, guy?
I coughed up there for a second. Still thinking about Quake.
You want something to drink?
Oh, geez. I'm good.
All right.
So, we're set to receive some updates, possibly next week, maybe the next week afterwards. about which team will receive which coaches. Obviously, again, the premise of the show is that you're going to have coaches for Street Fighter and coaches for Tekken, teaching relatively new people, new to the fighting game community, new to fighting games in general.
There's also some experienced people in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of mixed, honestly. You have some bigger ones and smaller ones.
Apparently, Slasher just got totally blacklisted. Like, they were like, oh, yeah, it's Slasher, and then not even in there. So
did he do a video?
He did not do a video. Oh. They actually did it was during Live on 3. And they were like, it came out from the official tweet. It was like the official Twitter. It was like, nope, blacklisted.
Good.
So,
good.
Whatever. So, look
Slasher,
for updates on that.
Secretary of State.
We will hopefully get to see during that series some actual, a little more pro play for Street Fighter X Tekken, which is obviously is on the EVO roster this year. Mm-hmm. So, as soon as that happens, we will let you know. But then, as far as this weekend, we actually have 2 major tournaments. Speaking of EVO, official tournaments, EVO qualifiers, Road to EVO qualifier tournaments. We have Winter Brawl, which is actually happening in Philadelphia, PA.
Philly.
So some local love from the East Coast.
Indeed.
And then if we want to talk about
across the other pond,
East kind of South Coast, we have the Azohuru Nationals X, which is
I think if you go the other way, it would be closer west.
Which way? I think you're right. Southwest, South by Southwest. Anyway. So this is actually the big fighting game out of Australia,
indeed,
which actually draws a lot of players from the Asian scene. So a lot of people from Korea and China as well. So we'll have to see 2 major tournaments, 2 EVO qualifiers. We'll have to see who gets those seeding points going into the rest of the EVO season.
We'll put up all the streams up on the site, so you can.
And this should be the first major that we actually get to see some Soul Calibur 5 action.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited about.
Indeed. So that wraps up esports news, unless you have. You did make a note.
I have 2 little tidbits here. Basically, as everyone knows, on Valentine's Day, February 14th, Twisted Metal, the new Twisted Metal got released. David Jaffe has actually said on multiple times that he wants this to be a serious competitive game.
Right.
So, going on this weekend as well, after the release of Twisted Metal, we will actually see I believe they were talking first, it was going to be like a 2-on-2 competitive tournament, but there should be it's going to be a local in California, I believe, actually at the studios. We'll actually have to wait and see how that works out. But then also, yesterday, we actually seen the first glimpses of Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, which, as you know, is the big shooter remake of Resident Evil 2. And I have to say, I mean, as far as competitive play, I mean, it looks really interesting. So we'll have to see as far as the radar, what happens. Also, UFC Undisputed 3 came out.
That's
a good fighting game.
I mean, they have so much funding. Like, come on, man. I'm surprised I haven't seen a tournament from that.
Anyway,
but
from the smaller side, competitive.
Smaller side, indeed. As always, make sure you check out the website, bossfight.tv. There are a lot of kind of really smaller stories here and we cover that we don't necessarily talk about on the show. So if you want the full scoop of everything going on the week, make sure you check it out there. We also put it out on Twitter. So at BossFightTV, follow us. Again, do not forget the code. I'm not going to say it again because that would be cheating. You have to go find it. So tweet us and iHeart Esports the code. And you have to be following both of us. And we'll send you out some free stickers. So other than that, that concludes the episode. This is Josh Engel, also known as Antipro, signing off.
And this is Mike Bisson, a.k.a. Mohawk Mike. Thank you for supporting esports in whatever capacity you do. And thank you for considering.